The rain had been falling for hours, turning the streets into mirrors of blurred lights and broken reflections. Cars rushed past without slowing down, splashing muddy water onto the sidewalk where a small girl stood, barely protected by her thin red coat. She couldn't have been more than 8 years old. Her hands were tiny, her sleeves slightly too long, and yet she worked with the quiet focus of someone much older. In one hand, she held a worn-out blue cloth, and with the other, she gently wiped the hood of a black luxury car that had just pulled over near the curb. Her name was Anna. Most people didn't notice her. To them, she was just another child trying to earn a few coins in a city too busy to care. But Anna wasn't just cleaning cars. She had a routine. She would approach drivers politely, ask if she could wipe their car for a small amount, and if they agreed, or sometimes even if they didn't, she would begin her work. But what made her different, what made her unforgettable, was what she did next. She sang. At first, it was soft. Almost like a whisper blending with the sound of the rain. But slowly, her voice would rise, pure, emotional, and filled with something that no training could teach. Pain. Hope. Longing. It wasn't just singing. It was storytelling through melody. That evening, as she wiped the rain off the windshield of the black car, she began to sing again. A soft, haunting tune. Her voice trembled at first, then steadied, carrying through the rain like a fragile thread refusing to break. People passing by slowed down slightly, not even realizing why. Some turned their heads. Others paused for a moment before continuing on. Inside the car sat a man in his early 60s, dressed in a dark suit. His hair was neatly combed, streaked with gray, and his face carried the weight of years of success, decisions, and perhaps regrets. His name was Victor Hale, a self-made millionaire known for his sharp mind and colder demeanor. People respected him. Some feared him. But very few truly knew him. Victor had been on his way to an important meeting, one that could bring him even more wealth. But when he stopped at the red light and noticed the little girl approaching his car, he barely paid attention. He had seen many like her before. He expected the usual, quick cleaning, a handout for money, and then she would disappear into the crowd. But then she started singing. At first, he didn't react. His eyes were fixed ahead, his mind still occupied with numbers, deals, and deadlines. But something about the sound made him blink. It was different. Not loud, not demanding, just real. Slowly, his gaze shifted toward the windshield. The girl was still wiping the glass, her small hands moving in circles, but her face was alive with emotion. Her eyes were slightly closed, her lips moving gently as the melody poured out of her. She wasn't performing for money. She wasn't even looking at him. It was as if she had forgotten the world around her. Victor turned off the car's engine without realizing it. The rain softened. Her voice became clearer. And then something unexpected happened. A memory. A distant, buried memory began to rise within him. A song. The same melody. He hadn't heard it in decades. His chest tightened slightly as flashes of the past began to surface, his childhood, a small home, simpler days, and someone singing. His mother. She used to sing that exact song. Victor's grip on the steering wheel loosened. His eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in confusion. How could this girl, this stranger, know that song? It wasn't popular. It wasn't something you'd hear on the radio. It was old. Forgotten. And yet, here it was. His heartbeat began to change. Slower, heavier. Outside, Anna continued singing, unaware of the storm she was awakening inside the men just inches away from her. Her voice cracked slightly at one note, but she didn't stop. She never stopped. Because for her, singing wasn't just about sound, it was about survival. It was the only way she could feel close to someone she had lost. Her mother. She remembered her voice more than anything else. Soft, warm, comforting. The same song she was singing now was the last song her mother had ever sung to her. And so, every day, in the rain, in the cold, in the noise of the city, Anna sang it again, hoping, in some quiet corner of her heart, that somehow her mother could still hear her. Inside the car, Victor's vision blurred. He didn't understand it at first. He hadn't cried in years. Not when he built his empire. Not when he lost people along the way. Not even when he buried his own past under layers of ambition and success. But now, sitting in a parked car, listening to a little girl sing in the rain, tears began to form in his eyes. He blinked quickly, trying to stop them. But it was too late. One tear rolled down his cheek. Then another. He leaned back in his seat, his breathing uneven. It wasn't just the song. It was everything the song carried with it, the memories, the regrets, the realization of how far he had drifted from the things that once truly mattered. The light turned green. Cars behind him began to honk. But Victor didn't move. For the first time in years, he didn't care about being late. Outside, Aina finished the song, her voice fading gently into the sound of rain. She opened her eyes slowly and stepped back from the car, her small hand hesitating for a moment as if unsure whether to knock or simply walk away. Victor quickly wiped his face, straightened himself, and rolled down the window. Their eyes met. For a brief moment, the world felt still. "Where did you learn that song?" he asked, his voice softer than he expected. Aina blinked, slightly surprised. "My mother," she replied quietly. Victor swallowed hard. Something inside him shifted. In that moment, he realized something powerful. Sometimes, the smallest voices carry the deepest truths. Sometimes, the people we overlook are the ones who remind us what it means to feel again. And sometimes, it takes a poor girl singing in the rain to break a millionaire's heart wide open. If this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be part of more emotional journeys like this. Because you never know, the next story might just change the way you see the world.